Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I just wanted to talk briefly about something that crossed my mind this morning as I was going outside to go work out and do my usual routine, something I would typically do on one of my days off, working out outside. And as I'm thinking about like the interactions I've had with people, all different people, men and women have really different reactions to the things that I do when I work out outdoors. And it's kind of stark, like the differences are stark. And I kind of wanted to get into some details of some of my personal interactions in this video that I've had over the years as I've continued to work out outdoors. So I mean, it's unavoidable, especially if you live in a city. It's not like you're confined in a gym when you're working out outside. I mean, you're getting fresh air, you got more space to do what you're doing, whether it's like on my front lawn, or at my local playground, or even at the big parking lot at my job. So when I'm on break, I'll bring some dumbbells and I'll go work out outside to get some sun. There's always more reasons than one for why I do what I do. Everything's multifaceted. It's not for people's attention. I'm not trying to get random people out in the public's attention at all. I'm just trying to better myself, physically, mentally, spiritually. I figured what better way to do that than go get fresh air, pop out some dumbbells out of the trunk of my car and just have at it. Whether it's, biceps, triceps, whatever you're working on. Some workouts all I do is use a mat and I'll lay it by my car and, I'll just do some kind of ab routine laying down on the mat, stretches just to get sun and fresh air during my break. That's just what I prefer to do, especially because I'll eat early in the morning and that saves me time to just work out on my break. And this way, when I go home, I don't have to work out so much, and then it saves time for me to do other things like, hang out with my daughter, play video games, paint miniatures. Like I do all kinds of crazy stuff. But I really wanted to get. I'm sorry, I went on a rant there. Anyway, I was going to get into some details in my personal interactions between men and women coming up to me, whether it's at the playground, walking by my house while I'm on the lawn, at the parking lot at my job, etc. So a big thing for me would be at the parking lot at my job. I have a half an hour on break, so I go out and I'm doing my thing, and most days I don't get bothered, for better or for worse. Like I get no compliments or no weird looks, but on occasion I'll get usually it's a guy, right? So here's where the comparisons come into play. A lot of times I'll get a guy. It's usually a guy with like a 4x4 work truck. It could be a tradesman guy, a guy with a plumbing truck. I think I had a guy in an ambulance one time that happened to be in the lot. Honked his horn at me and kind of gave me a thumbs up. And so like just encouraging gestures. Like these guys get it. Like they understood what I was doing. They probably put two and two together and figured out that I worked at the place that I work at, and they were like, yeah, because like nobody does that. Nobody goes and works out, in the parking lot of their job, but they saw why I was doing it. Like you're just trying to better yourself, right? I mean, that's how I see it for myself. So one interaction in particular, a guy comes up to me as I'm lifting. I drop my weights, I shake his hand. He's holding like a full-blown conversation with me for almost the entire half an hour I was out there. And I got to know the guy a little bit. He was probably a little younger than me, probably early 30s, maybe late 20s. And he was just like, man, I don't know how you do that, like, with all these people around and all this stuff. And I'm like, I just don't care at this point. Life's too short to care. And again, I'm not doing it for attention from anybody. I'm doing it to get some sun, fresh air, to get out of my work environment just for a brief time. I feel like that's important. And likewise, I can cite one, actually a few, but one specific example. And I think it was actually the same day that I was talking to the younger guy I had just mentioned. And there was a girl. Now, where I'm parked, let me put things into perspective. So where I usually park is like off away from the building that I work at. So people would have to actively, like this guy I'm talking about, he would have to come up to me to initiate a conversation. I'm not directly in anyone's face, and I'm never trying to be. And I think most people understand that. But this one girl, I'll never forget. She seemed okay looking from a distance. I'm talking like, what, 80 yards away? So I don't know. I'm just giving a rough estimate, but my parking lot at my job is pretty big. But I see her kind of going behind her car. As she approaches her car, she's looking at me, and then she pulls her phone out, and she's kind of like this, kind of like, filming me, but like from behind her car. So she's trying to like pretend that she's looking at her phone, but I know what she's doing, and I see her like she's facing my direction. And I just got the certain vibe that, she had probably posted some kind of TikTok, like, oh, look at this weirdo. I couldn't make out her facial features entirely, but by her mannerisms, it just looked like she was disgusted with me. Like, ew, like how dare you do what you're doing? And I've gotten more confirmed looks from women much closer in my vicinity that maybe park closer to me. They walk by and they kind of just glance over with like a snide sneer. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like that. It's like that look of contempt. You know what I'm saying? And I've gotten that multiple times, and I just found it interesting. The male female dynamic when it comes to complimenting, like. Girls compliment each other on their makeup and this and that, but when they see a guy trying to do better for themselves, it's like they hate it. Like, I don't know if it's jealousy, just innate disdain for men. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments. Have you guys had any kind of interactions like that? I mean, it doesn't even have to be workout related. It could just be you walking down the street and you're looking decent. Maybe you just took a nice shower. Maybe you got some decent clothes on. You're just feeling good. You're feeling yourself, right? And maybe they see that energy, they feel that, and they're like, they're not happy that you're happy. I mean, maybe that's what it comes down to. Again, I'd be really curious to get you, the viewer. I would be curious to get your take on women doing stuff like that, because I mean that to me sticks out the most. They're just envious to some degree, I feel like. But like, why would you hate somebody that's trying to better themselves? I've seen videos online, especially women at the gym. Like, if they just, they see a guy working out and maybe he's doing something unorthodox, and they're like, ew, like what is he doing? And I was like, well, he's doing something you ain't. And especially if the guy looks really fit, like, well, maybe you should be doing something that he's doing, right? I'm not saying that the girl has to be as jacked as the guy, but you get what I'm saying. It's like there's like a innate female jealousy when guys, when they can feel it, that the guys that they're looking at are doing good for themselves. They don't like it. Like, and it brings me to a talking point that I'm sure you guys are familiar with the male loneliness epidemic, which is total fucking bullshit. At least by and large, I can speak for myself, and based on the hundreds of comments that I've seen on other people's videos that are doing similar content to me, a lot of guys are feeling the same way. They might not be doing all the crazy stuff I'm doing, but it could be as simple as like, just feeling happy that they got a good paying job, Maybe they have a couple dogs they take care of, or a couple any other kinds of pets, or maybe they're taking care of their kids on their own. You can include me in that bracket too. Primary custody of my child, and for good reason, but I'll discuss that in another video, or at least as much as I'm comfortable disclosing. It gets pretty crazy. I'm sure half of you guys watching have experienced some pretty crazy stuff yourselves, and it's probably why you're here, right? But yeah, you guys aren't alone. There's thousands of us out there, and we're all kind of feeling the same sentiment, or sentiments, plural. We're all kind of feeling let down by society, let down by the thoughts of marriage, how it is kind of a scam nowadays. Dating's pretty much a scam, depending on the female that's trying to get to know you, or just trying to get to know your wallet, maybe. I mean, that seems to be a really, really big theme among today's modern women, man. They love your wallet. Not so much you, they love your wallet. But I've been there too. I've been in situations like that. Anyway, I know I've been rambling for a little while. Just really wanted to bring up that topic of, men versus women when it comes to reacting to guys specifically doing good for themselves. And I love to feel and hear and see the encouragement from others, and when people do that with each other. But it just sucks to see, certain levels of people's, I guess it's their own disgust with themselves, and they try to take it out on other people, whether directly or indirectly, passive aggressively, however you want to say that. Yeah, it just feels like they have to be unhappy to some degree. Why wouldn't you take even a slight bit of joy that seeing one of your fellow human beings is doing something kind of cool, like that didn't inspire you? Instead, that just pissed you off. I don't get that kind of shitty ass mentality, and I hope for future generations of women that changes, but it doesn't seem like it's going to anytime soon. But we can only hope, right? We can only hope. So yeah, I wanted to thank you guys for checking out this video. This is Auroros versus the World. I do have another channel called Auroros Motivates. Especially if you're a guy and you're checking out this video and you feel kind of lost, or you don't feel like you have a lot of ambition or drive, maybe, or you're just feeling down for whatever reason, check out my other channel, Auroros Motivates. I do a lot of fitness, gaming, hobbies, and motivational speeches on there. And I generally try to keep it a positive channel. So, like I said in my previous video, you can find negativity on all corners of the internet, anywhere you look. Blindfold yourself, tap on your phone, and poof, you got yourself, a nice batch of negativity, I'm sure. But I feel like we can overshadow that from time to time with something good, and I think we should do that more often. So, yeah, again, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I look forward to making more content like this. And society puts a lot of pressure on us, but it doesn't always have to break us or make us feel less than. We are what we make ourselves, I feel like. And I feel like a lot of people have more potential than what they might believe that they have in the moment. And I hope that I inspired you guys just by saying that now. Like, maybe take a second look at yourselves. Again, if you're feeling down or depressed about the way things are just happening in our world, and just take a second look at yourself, and you're worth more than you think. So, yeah, I just wanted to leave this video on a good note. Again, thank you guys so much for checking it out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.